I think it's fair to say
Yes.
that Nvidia has won.
I, I, the way I would put it is Nvidia could lose right now and it wouldn't matter because they'll have trillions of dollars for the rest of their lives no matter what. What's going to happen?
Like it was like 200% overall revenue growth or something like that, but like their enterprise
200
business
and
was like
I think it was
400.
256 maybe. It was some stupid number.
Yeah, they just
I know. Well, if it helps, it was down from last quarter. It was 300%. So, they're obviously on the decline. I don't know. What do you say to this? It's nuts. Yeah.
I'm
They're
curious
riding the
what their
wave.
market valuation is going to jump to. Uh,
Well, but it's they make so much profit that this just fuels any future growth they need. If things shift a little bit, they have enough to.
oh yeah,
I don't know what to say.
no. I mean, I think could they could they surpass? I mean, like Microsoft and Apple in terms of
Oh,
valuation.
jeez.
I mean,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. I would say probably. Well, in value, you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess anything's possible, right? Right
What's
now,
their
they're the engine fueling the AI boom. So, sure, why not?
what's their market cap? Yeah, 1.67 trillion.
Yeah,
What's
half of
Apple?
Microsoft's,
Well, I thought Apple was over two.
as we call it. Microsoft's going to be what, 3.1, 3.2, something
Apple's
stupid.
2.82, so that they'd only need like 1.2 trillion.
Yeah.
Only.
Well, there's another quarter coming, and they already said, hey, guess what? It's not going to stop.
And Microsoft's just shy of 3, so they would need to double
Oh, they're actually below 3. Well,
2.99.
yeah.
So they would
Slackers.
need to, yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
this.
I don't know. They made a bunch of money. They're going to continue to make a bunch of money. They're going to be the biggest probably beneficiaries, at least in terms of hardware, when it comes to AI. And yeah.
Yeah.
They really rode that like cryptocurrency, everybody's a miner wave really well.
I know. I
And
know.
then like that started to fall off and they're like, no, AI. And then they're like,
The funny thing is if you didn't know anything, if you woke up from a coma, you'd be like, video game company, right? Or a
mm-hmm.
video game graphics card company. And that business has flatlined nicely. And it's gone nowhere. It was like Microsoft's stock in the 2000s. But yeah, that's because there's this other thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's going great.
This little other thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean,
I don't
whatever.
know what
They
to
made a whole
say.
bunch of money. Phil Spencer also did an interview with another news organization. I can't think of who the website's like Gamerfile.
Okay.
But it's where this Phil Spencer says they're not going to abandon the disc, but really what he kind of said is like we're following the consumer,
Yeah. So
and
we are abandoning
I
this
mean
then
we
because
are, but like we're not
yeah.
going to go say that like the consumer.
Well, they have a disc less, which is a tough thing to say, by the way.
Mhm.
Console already. There's rumors or leaks or something about a disc-less version of the X, the more expensive one. Sony is doing that, right? They have
Mhm.
one of each,
Mhm.
and the add-on. I guess maybe that's the way to handle it. Make it the stock version doesn't have the drive, but if you want that, you get it for you buy $50 or whatever it is. I don't know.
One of the other interesting things he said in that interview, which I really didn't put together, but paraphrasing here, he's like, where do you go buy a disk drive these days? Like, who's still making these
Where do
things?
you buy discs?
Yeah,
I mean, you get them online, right? But I mean, retailers are dropping those
right.
like a bad habit.
Yeah. It's like there's just a few manufacturers of DVD/Blu-ray drives left on the planet, and their costs are going up because obviously there's not as many being made, so our costs go
Sure.
up. And like, well,
Yeah,
that
it's only
actually
right.
kind of
It's
makes
only a matter
sense.
of time. You can't buy like floppy disks anymore.
Yeah.
There's only one company or something on earth that even
Mm-hmm.
makes these things. Yeah, we're heading there.
Then the other big news, which is probably bigger than everything other than the Nvidia maybe, is that Microsoft is going to use Intel for its new custom AI chips as a part of.
Well, chip, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're spreading the love here a little bit. It's kind of hard to say because they were
Mm-hmm.
very non-specific, but
Oh, and that's unusual.
I know. Well, I don't look. You're at an Intel event.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about the Intel thing. People like us know they actually announced two of these things. They said chip, not chips. We don't know what you mean exactly. It makes sense that you would look in the same way that an enterprise would go multi-cloud for redundancy purposes or whatever. I mean, it makes sense that if you're going to manufacture chips, you might want to do that too, right? So, and this is a bet. Intel is talking big. They say they're on track, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll get to this, process node. It's soon or whatever this year, I guess. We'll see.
Yep.
But we know that there are other companies that can do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, Microsoft's probably getting something out of this other than the chips at the end of the day.
I just find it interesting that they're partnering with Intel in a way, right? This is the biggest, well, maybe the most famous partnership in the history of personal technology, right? Wintel is a thing.
Yeah.
Before we had phones, computers were it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it was Wintel, right? Even
Yeah.
though AMD was in there, sort of. I mean, but it was really Intel. I'm reading that Sinofsky book. I can't stop referencing because I had PTSD. He talks about Intel all the time. He never mentions A&D. During the course of development of winding down with Vista into 7 and 8, it's always Intel. It's all he talks about as far as hardware goes. Well, and the push to ARM obviously, but as far as that side, it's not. It doesn't refer to it as x86 or it's always Intel. The Intel architecture that IA whatever. It's like Marsha. When are we going to start talking about that other company that's also kind of awesome, by the way? I don't know. But it's interesting to see them, still kind of partnering there. Oh, there we go. I'm like, why is my laptop so wobbly? It's maybe because it's not on the thing correctly, you freaking idiot. There we go. Perfect. I'm having a great morning, by the way.
We've noticed.
Swears. It was just sitting there kind of, you could see it, and now it's tilted. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll figure things out, I promise.
There was actually a lot of news yesterday.
Yeah, there was. Yep.
Apple launched just sort of out of nowhere
I know.
a new sports app, which raises a lot of questions. Like, are they getting more into sports streaming, which would, I mean, they've already got the MLS thing.
Yep.
Or as somebody said, are they getting into gambling? I can't imagine they'd be getting into gambling.
Except gambling was a primary component of this app, by the way, which
Was it?
I think, yeah, I think
I downloaded it.
I have a big problem with gambling in professional sports and how it's not just like they allow the ads, it's like integrated now into sports.
Yes.
So if you look at the announcement, they mentioned gambling, basically. I don't know how else to say it. And I don't know. I'm not.
Oh yeah, it says betting odds right at the top.
Yep, crazy, right? So I think it's a little bit of all this stuff, right? So Apple in general, every once in a while I think they look around, they're like, what aren't we doing? What else can we ruin for third parties?
Yeah, we've become a bank with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can get into gambling.
Yeah, so
that's part of it. They're going to try to take 30% of every gamble.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, or bet. You don't. I placed a gamble on this.
I placed. I don't know about that one, but yeah, no, I mean, but they have the services play with all the streaming sports and all that.
Yeah.
You can't look at an app like this and not think, well, where's the Apple TV version? Where's the iPad version?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at some point, it's just you have an Apple phone with Apple apps running Apple services, and I think that's the end game. And I don't know, maybe that's the real goal. I think it's a little bit of everything.
There's no NFL scores in there. I know the NFL season is over, but
no, because they're going to do it. They're going to start everything in season. So there's no MLB yet, no NFL. It depends on the sport, but yeah, it's in season was their tagline for that.
I would imagine they'd eventually ingest news into that somehow.
Yeah, it already integrates with some other stuff they have that related to that. I don't remember the two apps. It was like news and something else. Anyway, yeah, but it does. Yeah, that's right, because everything works better together, Brad. You know that. Enjoy the warm embrace of the Apple ecosystem.